Yoel Romero came out, and he called out Daniel Cormier for a title fight at 205. And there was a couple of interesting things there. First off, we know that Yoel Romero should move up to 205, but I thought that was a solidification that he is moving up to 205, which is great news. It is great news. He's missed weight twice in a row. It cost him a world championship, right? I mean, if you remember, it was for the interim title when he fought Luke Rockhold. He won the fight. He did not win the title. And that changes history. I mean, that changes his life. He could have been a champion and remembered as such, and he's not anymore. So at any rate, he misses that fight. He misses again against Whitaker. Boom. We know he's got to go up, but now he's saying officially good he is. I think that opens up some really interesting parity and some really interesting matches up there. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Daniel. The other side of that coin is Daniel Cormier is never going back to 205 pounds. To believe otherwise is ridiculous, and George St-Pierre did get a lot of credit, at least from us, when he relinquished the 185-pound title. Anybody else would have kept that title, would have held out as long as they possibly could, and they might have gotten a year. They'd have had to been a real scumbag that have had to lie to the UFC. They would have had to create a couple of distractions, ultimately maybe fake an injury. But they would have extended that time. They would have extended those photo ops. They would have extended sponsorships and speaking opportunities. And held on to that belt, and they would have held up an entire division. George St-Pierre grabbed the strap and handed it right back. Said, I'm out. It was a very cool move, and I don't want to take away from DC. But there is no make-believe scenario on the face of this earth where he ever weighs 205 pounds again. I'm not sure he's aware of that, and I'm not sure in the 6 days removed from him winning the heavyweight championship that he needs to be aware of that. I do believe he gets a little bit of time, but in the same regard that we did give George St-Pierre a tremendous amount of credit because of the respect he showed to the guys in the back, opening up that opportunity for the Rockholts and the Romeros and the Whitakers and the Kelvin Gatzlams, not stopping them, not climbing up in the loft and pulling the ladder up behind him. The same way that we did that in a short amount of time, and I am not calling for it today, but I will be calling for it in a couple of weeks. Daniel needs to admit and relinquish the 205-pound title. He is simply not returning to it. It would defy physiology for him to return to it, but it would also defy logic. He is not going down and fighting Shogun. He is not going down and fighting Romero. He is not going down and fighting John Jones. He is not going down and fighting Alexander Gustafsson. And yes, I did slip John Jones into the mix. If John Jones comes back and they want to do a John Jones, Daniel Cormier Part 3, they're going to do it at heavyweight. I think in a short period of time, Daniel will realize, hey, this is fun. Having two titles is fun. But Daniel is a good dude, much like George St-Pierre, and I do believe that in a short period of time, he's going to go, look, as selfish as I want to be and as much as I have earned this, if I'm not going to defend this, and I'm not, I do have a responsibility to the boys in the back who are still sacrificing and scratching and clawing to reach their dreams, to make it possible for them to reach their dreams. Here's your belt. That is going to happen. So for Romero to go after him makes a lot of sense, and it's a fun fight for a lot of reasons. With two wrestlers, fun fight. People would resist it. They would be pissed if Yoel Romero was given another title shot, but I'm just speaking to the point of fun. It's a fun fight. They got to get on with it. And as soon as they get on with it, you got to bring Alexander Gustafsson on one side of that equation. That guy is as close to a world champion as I have ever seen. Many people thought he beat John Jones, including myself. Many people, and one of the judges that night, split decision. Many people thought he beat Daniel Cormier. I was not one of those, but one of the judges was. It was also a split decision. Let him get on with it.